NewsNation's got team coverage on the ground as the world mourns the loss of the Pope. Alex Capriello is outside the Holy Name Cathedral in Chicago, and Marcus Espinoza is at St. Patrick's Church in New York City. Marcus, let's begin with you and how folks there are remembering the Pope.
Well, it's interesting because this is obviously a tourist spot as well. So you got a lot of folks visiting the cathedral behind me here just on that merit alone. And then also discovering the news that this, of course, happened this morning, that Pope Francis passing away at 88. So it's a combination of things coming together. And when I stepped inside a couple times this morning to see what the mood was there, it is somber. This is a sad day for Catholics. They are certainly mourning across the entire country, and then certainly here in New York City, a large Catholic population, certainly, and folks are paying their respects. They are lighting candles. Then also, it's not just at churches. It's not just at formal events like this. The New York Stock Exchange, in fact, also holding a moment of silence earlier this morning when it's normally bustling and trading. And we've been obviously following the stock market a lot this year, but they took a moment as that moment of silence went on there because of the passing of Pope Francis at 88 years old. That is a huge sign and really an acknowledgement of how big this news is here. We spoke with parishioners personally and asked them about the Pope and what he meant to them, and a lot of them felt they knew him almost as if he was the people's Pope.
Human life is God's life. It doesn't stop at a border. It doesn't start at a border. God's child is in Mexico, and God's child is in Texas and in New York and in Toronto. And it's a universal.
And that was really echoed over and over again as we talked to folks here. And again, some folks learning the news as we approach them, but others I could tell inside there sitting in the pews also crying.
Marcus, so many remember and consider the Pope as an extremely humble man. What are others saying about his characteristics and how they are remembering and talking about him?
Well, you just heard from that parishioner right there, right? That has been echoed over and over again, and I think that's going to be a part of his legacy that is remembered. The fact that he didn't live in the Vatican or near that area, that he lived in a two-bedroom apartment, that he believed in the simplicity of life, and that he often approached the way he preached in that sort of perspective there. The cardinal who spoke here earlier today at St. Patrick's also commenting on that fact when he was here in New York before.
I remember as we got out of the Pope Mobile in front of St. Patrick's after that tumultuous drive down Fifth Avenue, he said, "I thought Americans didn't like religion." That was the caricature that we have. We know how different. That's not true at all. He was overwhelmed by the warmth and the embrace of the city. So, personal memories. I'll be thinking of a lot of them.
Also, he was considered by many as a progressive pope, having controversial views on the Big Bang Theory and abortion. He believed that the Big Bang Theory did not contradict God's creation story, also maintaining that abortion was, quote, a grave sin in his eyes. But he also declared in 2016 that priests were allowed to grant forgiveness to those who received an abortion if they asked for such a thing. He also formally approved the blessing of same-sex marriages back in 2023, a landmark ruling that allowed Catholic priests to bless same-sex couples seeking God's love and mercy in their union. He also spoke out against sexual abuse within the Catholic Church, even apologizing to victims there and also trying to hold abusers accountable.
All right, Marcus, thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.